everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 15 of Project Ozone 3. In between episodes, I made this. This is a greenhouse, and this is where a small portion of all of my crops are going to go. I've already 10-10-10'd the hemp, the coffee, all of these crops. And I've also made tier 2 Inferium Essence, and got those at 10-10-10 as well. And these are just the grains of infinity seeds I made last episode. I also moved all the trees over here and did some sieving. Got all of the trees that I'm missing so far, and I need to make a crate for those. I also went to the Twilight Forest and got the canopy tree and the sickly twilight oak. I almost got the dark forest tree, but for some odd reason saplings were not dropping from the leaves. Only oak saplings were. So that's whatever. I also got a bunch of fluid cows. The ones of note are, I got another Enderium cow, and got a crude oil cow. He's around here somewhere. Yeah, crude oil. So I'm going to make use of him. But first we're going to head into the nether. So this item is an igniter. The igniter is made with 5 pieces of cobblestone, a flint and steel, and 3 pieces of netherrack. And what it is it's essentially a redstone powered flint and steel that doesn't lose durability. So all I have to do is supply a redstone pulse to it, and I have this at 230 ticks. And have this on ignite mode. And there are different modes, so you can have keep ignited, toggle fire, which means when it receives a pulse again, it'll stop the fire. But I'm going to have it on ignite mode. That way it lights the bedrock on fire, you get grains of infinity from it, and then after the fire goes out, the pulse starts it again. But thank you to Brad Manis for bringing this up. And yeah, this is just a teachable moment, so that's why I'm showing it. I already have 10-10-10 grains of infinity seeds. I'm not really worried about this, I'm not really worried about that setup anymore. Back in the greenhouse for a second, I'm going to hit F7 so that you can see all of the, where there isn't a sufficient light level. And going down here, you'll see that even though there are no torches in this area, it is completely lit up, and that's because I put a little glowstone inside of this nether brick with chisels and bits. So I have my chisel and I just put it in plane mode, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after that you just put another plane of just put a plane of glowstone there, cover it up, and bam. The reason why this works as a light level is because I used a 16 by 16 by 1 area of glowstone, and that was enough of to make this block transparent and allow the light to come through. So I've done that at every single intersection of the greenhouse, and by making this positive chisel design, and I can just place it wherever I want. Placement, there we go. So yeah, that's what we did. I'm going to do the thing that I wanted to do at the end of last episode, but did not get a chance to. So I finally have enough blaze rods, and I am going to complete Epiolatry 1. So, to detect that, I just took my blaze rods. There we go. I have the first Epiolatry. And I also got rid of the music file that makes that triumphant music every time a quest is completed. So yeah, I have Epiolatry 1, and what's required for Epiolatry 2? Oh boy. Basal's rods and the Tarantula Boss Trophy. Alright. Wait, what did that say? More OP than the last. So the Epiolatry 1 has Looting 3, Sharpness 3, and XP Boost 1, Smite 3. And, wow, that's awesome, actually. And it gives me max health. So I am at gold instead of copper hearts now. So it seems that there is a spawn cap on Moo Fluids. So what I did is I used some slime balls, ender pearls, slag, and soul sand and made these morbs. And the morbs was how morbs are how I was moving all of the fluid cows every time they spawned in. And because they were in morbs, then that means that they weren't contributing to the spawn cap. So every time a Moo Fluid appeared, catch it in a morb, and then I put them away in a chest for safekeeping, and allowed more to spawn in. So that was the problem why I was only having a select number of move fluids spawn in before. And before the episode started, I took all my morbs and threw them over there. And apparently whenever you throw a morb to release something, there is a chance that that morb will break. So I'm going to move them back into my chest. Wow, what? Anyone else seeing this? The overall goal of this episode is to make a Dimensional Transceiver from Ender.io, and also to make some Dynamos. Here we are. So the Dynamos from Thermal Expansion. You got a couple of them. You got the Steam Dynamo, which just takes anything that can go into a furnace, makes power, and it's pretty weak. So not a lot of stuff can give you a large amount of power. You have the Magmatic Dynamo, which takes pyrotheum, blazing pyrotheum and lava, and I'm definitely going to be going the pyrotheum route. The Compression Dynamo works kind of like a diesel, where it takes... Whoops, those are coolants. Here we are. So it takes fuels, combustible fluids, and yeah, it just works like a diesel, where it takes the fuel, it takes some compressed air, and bam, it makes power out of that. The Reactant Dynamo, and that takes like potion-related stuff. The Enervation Dynamo takes redstone. So redstone, Wyvern flux capacitors, pretty much things that hold RF, various batteries go in the Enervation Dynamo. And then the Numismatic, which is the funniest because it takes coins, Thermal Foundation coins. And I won't ever use this one. I don't plan on making the coins unless I have to. But I'm going to be going with the Magmatic. So I'm going to make a couple Magmatics. I'll be right back with you. One of the items that we're going to need for the Magmatic Dynamo is redstone transmission coils. And you have transmission coils and reception coils. The reception coils require a gold ingot, but otherwise it's the same exact recipe. But put that in here, and bam. 8 Magmatic Dynamos. And I am going to go underneath this platform, and this is where I'm going to be placing them. I've set up my Dynamos, and I've also put my quantum tank that has lava in it. I'm only going with lava for now, just so before I actually make the pyrotheum. However, so I have this quantum tank, but I don't really have a way to transfer it into the Dynamos. I could use the extra utilities fluid transfer node, but that's all priority based. And I don't feel like setting up water mills in order to increase how fast things can go. With the fluid transfer nodes, I'll probably only ever get lava in these two before it's expended and the transfer node thinks it needs to send more here. So we're going to go the thermal route by making fluid ducts. So I'm going to be going with the Signalum plated fluid duct because it transfers fluid and redstone flux, and that's exactly what I want. Otherwise, you just have the hardened fluid ducts with transferred fluids. But the Signalum plated requires hardened fluid duct, and a hardened fluid duct requires the hardened glass. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, I have made some hardened fluid ducts, and the hardened fluid duct is just lead surrounded by Invar. But since I've made those, put a little Electrum and Signalum, and I just made the Signalum. I'll show that in just a second. Why did the bucket go in there? But I have Signalum plated fluid ducts. I'm going to take 36 of them. The Signalum over here in the alloy smelter is just copper, silver, and redstone, and it's actually pretty slow going since I only have the basic capacitor, but I made what I needed. We're going to head back down to the Magmatic Dynamos. After you place down your fluid ducts, things aren't going to transfer right away, and that's why I made this Signalum servo. Different servos have different transfer rates for things, so the basic servo being the worst, and if you look down you'll see extraction rate for fluids 50%. I made the Signalum level because I'm using Signalum fluid ducts, it makes sense. So using the Signalum servo on here, but just by itself placing the servo isn't enough. So if you right click on the servo, you'll see this redstone control right here, and put it to ignored. And once you put it to ignored, you'll see that I have lava leaving here now. So these fluid ducts can actually hold lava itself. So even though I have this full, and lava is actually being stored inside the cable as well in a buffer. So every time lava drops here, it will immediately transfer. But I'm going to put that back on high. And another thing that changes, whenever lava is actually in the dynamo and it is creating RF for you, then, oh, I'm sorry, this is Project Ozone. We're generating forge energy, which is essentially the same. But you see that the texture of this actually changed and it started pulsing for you. So I am going to put some more fluid ducts over here, and then I'm going to make more signalum servos to actually transfer the energy out. And it can go anywhere you want. The fluid ducts, I mean. But I'm going to put them right here just so it looks cool. And whenever you're using thermal expansion, it's almost impossible to not have things look bulky. But it is what it is. So I'm going to make these servos. And then after you make the servo, all you have to do is, I have the regular servo, apply some invar to make it hardened. Apply electrum to make it reinforced. And then after that, you apply some signalum, which I should have. I need to add more redstone to it. And add signalum to make a signalum level. Boom. Now there are other recipes for this, and the basic recipe is it requires iron, iron nuggets, glass, and redstone. However, after you make, I just made it with the making the basic servo and then using 1 ingot to upgrade it, but you can use 2 of the ingot instead of the iron in the same exact recipe, so the iron ingot, the nugget, and the redstone, to make 1 of the hardened servo. To save on ingots, to save on resources, I'm just making the basic servo since I have plenty of iron, and then only using the 1 ingot to upgrade it to the next level. So I realize I kind of made a mistake making these signalum servos, and sure, I can use them a little bit later, but completely forgetting that I don't need the servos. The servos are only for items and fluids. Since I'm transferring energy now, the energy is going straight into these fluid ducts to wherever I want it to go. And I'm going to make a capacitor bank, the thermal capacitor bank, energy cell. And yeah, we're going to make the energy cell, put it back. Alright, I have made everything that I need in order to make the energy cell. The energy cell frame is really simple, just lead gear, iron ingots, and any sort of glass. And then the redstone conductance coils are electrum ingots surrounded by redstone. I'm making 16 of them, and these things hold 2 million RF each, and they're just ridiculously cheap for this point of the game. So those are the ones that I'm going for. I'm going to place all these down. Whoops. So you can see that I have redstone, forge energy. I have Fe transferring into this cell. And they are not, they're not a multi-block structure. So, why did I make 16 of them? Whatever, well, I have 16 now, and I'm very happy with that. Wow, RF is just pouring in. But like I said before, you do not need those servos in order to transfer RF. I'm looking at the magnetic dynamos again, and if you look at here, you see the power output right now is 40 RF a tick, and it's generating 40 RF a tick. And not, of course, it's not storing any energy since I'm transferring to all of these energy cells. So what we are going to do is we're going to create some upgrade kits. Each upgrade kit is it's incremental, so I need to make a hardened upgrade kit and upgrade a machine to hardened before I can upgrade to reinforced and all that stuff. Or you can make a conversion kit, and if you have the conversion kit, then it'll upgrade the machine immediately to that level. So let's make these upgrade kits, which is Invar ingots, bronze gears, and redstone. I have made 8 of the kits, and all you have to do is right click any of the machines, and bam, you see that right here in the corner the color changed because it knows that it's a hardened level now. And you look at the power output is 60 RF per tick, and it is generating 60 RF per tick. So upgrade all of these. That's a lot of dinging. So the next one we need to make is the reinforced upgrade kit, which is going to take a little bit longer because I don't have the electrum supply right now. So generating up some electrum, that's my signalum, to make the reinforced level. And I'm going to get all of this to signalum level, and then I'm just going to stop. Because the resident upgrade kit requires this enderium, and though I do have an enderium cow, I feel like I don't want to use that right now. Alright, I've got my hardened glass, which is required for these. And boom, bam, reinforced upgrade kits. There. All of these are upgraded to reinforced level, and my maximum power is 80 RF a tick. The last one I was going to make is the signalum upgrade kit. Unfortunately, that requires cryothium dust, which is blizz powder, and I don't have blizz powder because I don't have my modular machinery sieve up and running. But thankfully, we have the power for that now. So let's get it running for a little bit. Well, that was a harrowing experience. Harrowing is the wrong word. But I have blizz powder, finally. I think I put a total of 3 stacks worth of compressed dust into this thing. And this is a power hog. Even when it's not actively processing something, it's still drawing power and using that power. Quote unquote, using that power. So make sure that you have, I had to keep transferring out my energy cells multiple times in order to even get it to do 3 stacks of dust. So make sure you have a continuous and powerful power generation before even attempting to use this machine. I'm only going to use it sparingly because it is an energy hog. Same with this, and I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine using my mechanical users to hammer everything. Oh yeah, by the way, I made this magical wooden sledgehammer, and magical wood is easy to make. You just require experience, gold, and bookshelves. So the reason why I made this sledgehammer in particular is because it gave me 6 modifiers right off the bat, which means I could apply unbreakable and haste to this sledgehammer, and it works like a dream. So yeah, magical wood sledgehammer. That's what I'm using. Add my snowballs, and boom, cryothium dust. It's a little more than I needed, but it's fine. Signalum upgrade kits, got 8 of them. Gonna go upgrade my Dynamos. This energy cell is still charging up from the last time in the autosieve, but you can see that I'm now generating 100 RF per tick. There is also another kit that is specific to the magmatic dynamo, and right here, this insentropic reservoir. So making this, which requires more cryothium dust, will greatly increase the power generation and efficiency, aka it's going to double it. So I will be generating 200 RF per tick. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to make some energetic alloy, because we want to make the Dimensional Transceiver. The Dimensional Transceiver requires vibrant crystals. Vibrant crystals require vibrant alloy. Vibrant alloy requires energetic alloy. So we're going to make that up right now. I really need to upgrade some capacitors. I've got my electric steel cow out, and I made some electric steel ingots. If you want to make electric steel ingots and you do not have the cow, it requires silicon. Silicon is any sort of quartz dust in an alloy smelter in furnace mode, and it'll start giving you the silicon you need. While the energetic alloy is smelting up, I'm also going to be making some solarium. Solarium ingots are soul sand, and gold ingots, it's a 1-for-1 recipe, and that is going to be required in order to make our ender resonators in the Slice and Splice. And the Slice and Splice requires them in order to make it anyway. So I completely forgot that loot bags have a chance to give you loot capacitors. And I'm putting this one inside my alloy smelter because it is a wonder capacitor. A wonder capacitor is around the same level as an octadic capacitor whenever it's just in any random machine. And then you have, at the very beginning it says enhanced atomic. That means that it would be a like a double layer capacitor speed if it was inside a combustion generator. And each one of those words means something different. So this is a wonder capacitor, octadic level capacitor in generic machines, or if it was inside a culinary generator. Oh, actually no, insatiable is everything. So this works good in everything, or if it wasn't everything, it would be an octadic level. It's very difficult to describe, but each of the words means something different whenever it's inside a machine. So I just replaced the basic capacitor that was inside these machines with these wonder capacitors. And you see that it now is capable of holding a lot more energy, and it's actually much faster than it was before. So if you have loot bag related stuff, definitely go for that. The energetic alloy in an ender pearl makes the vibrant alloy, which is probably the most important thing that I need for this. And in here I also have ender pearls and iron, which makes pulsating iron. I'm going to make some item conduits, finally. It's just a matter of getting the sand, clay, and gravel together to make the binder composite. No, whatever, that's just a trip to Landia, that's no issue. I have also made fused quartz. Fused quartz is just in an alloy smelter, throw in some quartz, regular old quartz, and 4 of them will make a piece of fused quartz for you. The Dimensional Transceiver requires double layer capacitors, octadic capacitors, so I need to make double layer capacitors first. I just made 16 of them, and after that you combine it with vibrant alloy and glowstone, and you have octadic capacitors. And oh boy, I just messed up there, didn't I? Whatever, just one. So, completed those 2 quests. And I'm going to throw 2 octadic capacitors right here. The next thing we need to make is soul attuned dye blend, which is organic black dye and nether quartz dust, which we've already dealt with, but is also soul powder and organic brown dye. The twigs and prunings you get from what I showed last episode, just throwing grass in a sag mill, but you don't get very many of that. But you have cocoa beans if you've been automating your jungle saplings in a bonsai plant, and coal, whatever. So, organic black dye, boom. I'm making 2 stacks, one here and one here. And after that we're going to make soul powder, which is just solarium ingots in a sag mill, and you get the soul powder. Alright, got my soul attuned dye blend. I'm only going to take one little bit of it right now, but throw in a simple machine chassis and the soul attuned dye blend, and you will get soul machine chassis. You're going to need 2 of them, because one's required for the soul binder and the other is required for the slice and splice. And that's going to be the next thing that we create. Here we are, the slice and splice. The energized bimetal gear is the same thing before, the infinity bimetal gear, and then energetic alloy nuggets surrounding it, and you'll get the energized bimetal gear. And any skull will do. I just happen to use a wither skull. And then over here, for the soul binder, you just need, what is the correct combination? Here we are. So Enderman head on top, creeper, zombie, and skeleton to get the soul binder. Alright, to continue on, we're going to need to trap some Endermen in some soul vials, and I need 2 of them because I'm making 2 dimensional transceivers. So I'm just going to wait for another Enderman to show up before trapping it in this soul vial. Once again, I get the soul vials from loot bags, so it comes usually with shulkers inside them. Just kill the shulker and you have an empty soul vial. Alternatively, all you need is some solarium. And then like a piece of glass on top. And it makes a soul vial that way. You know, I've had the hunting dimensional portal up for so long, and I rarely ever visit this place except to get dirt. But there's my second Enderman. Mission accomplished. And now we're going to make our Ender Crystal. So all you have to do is put a Ender Crystal in there, correction, a Vibrant Crystal, and then the Soul Vial, and put some experience in. Why do I have no experience? What did I use it on? Well, experience is no problem with the mob farm. Alright, got some experience. Insert the experience, and then it will start to go. So this thing sucks a lot of power very quickly, so I attached one of my energy cells to it. And, just to keep a constant supply. And second, insert. And there you go. You'll always get the soul vial back, so you don't have to worry about, losing out on it. But there are my 2 ender crystals. Next is the Slice and Splice, which does require an axe and shears to be put in there. Any axe or shears. I just happen to make dark because their durability is excellent. But the Slice and Splice is smart enough to know where things need to go. So I'm trying to put this Enderman head here, but that won't work because the Enderman head, any head, will only go in that center spot. Same with silicone. Silicon won't go anywhere because silicone always goes here. So vibrant alloy and solarium, and it just started to go. Boom, Ender Resonator. With my Ender Resonators and my Ender Crystals in there, bam! I have Dimensional Transceivers, which are like one of the most handy items in the game, and much more useful than portality portals. And with that, I'm going to call this an episode. I went through quite a bit and it covered quite a lot just to get 2 dimensional transceivers, but it's going to be well worth it. And in between episodes, I'm going to hook them up, and I'm also going to... I know I said that I was not going to rely on mystical agriculture. However, I am going to make mystical agriculture seeds for anything that I have mass-produced so far. So that does not include... energetic alloy and vibrant alloy, stuff like that. But it's going to mean iron, copper, gold, the stuff that I've been sieving since episode 1. I'm going to make mystical agriculture stuff for. Same thing with pretty much anything that's inside my sieve box. So diamonds, emeralds. Actually, I probably can't get up to diamond. Regardless, that's what I'm going to be doing in between episodes and getting all those seeds up to 10, 10, 10. But I am Kelly Engineering, and remember, the next episode is going to be on Sunday, because I'm going to be, I'm on shift work and I'm going to be traveling. So, I am Kelly Engineering, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.